Am I back? There we go. Hello, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying some of her stream. I hope you all followed Rocketansky. I got my lunch and I am back now. But yeah, definitely check out her streams in the future. She's great. I always have solidarity for fellow leftists, fellow trans people. Hold on. Yeah, most people are still over there, which is fine. I'm going to be eating my lunch a little bit and just doing kind of a chill stream in the meantime. Eating pasta ASMR. Delicious. What's lunch? It's, like cheese ziti smart ones. I've been eating a lot of boxed meals because they're easier for me to keep track of the calories of. Not that I don't normally eat boxed meals in the first place. Still. Hold on, I gotta pull the dashboard up on my phone. Alright, what are we gonna look at today? So we covered the Minneapolis stuff earlier, and the officer who was involved in the killing has been arrested, so that's good. I think that's all we're going to talk about that today, because I'm ready to be in a less, how do I put it, let's look at sillier things as opposed to things that make you angry, shall we? Let's see. She wants the most alpha male she can. Fixing fake women problems. This sounds like a good one.
Yo, so
Is my thing still working? Yes, okay.
today I got a great question from one of our brothers who has a legitimate concern about women.
Welcome back, Bailey Quinn.
And I'll tell you what I mean in a moment. So here we go. He says, yo, Elliot, as a man, I'm scared of marrying a woman who keeps certain deal-breaking events from her sexual past hidden from me while dating, but in which I come to find out about years down the line when I've already sworn my vows, had my kids, and settled in life with her. My question is, how do I handle this realistic fear related to dealing with the modern
Welcome back, Crimson 11.
day woman, dude? So thank you for your question, and I want to acknowledge you first by having standards. I think it's a great idea to have standards with regard to women. Way too
Welcome
many
back, OCP.
men
Sinister,
fall in love with the P sleeve and don't
Sinister
put up
Kitty.
boundaries about
I
the
need
type
dark
of women
mode.
they deal with. And
Yeah.
I think vetting a woman based on her sexual past is important. Science has shown that the more
Vetting a woman based on her sexual past is important. Can you imagine dealing with a person in real life who thinks this way? Who thinks that the number of dicks you have been in the vicinity of is somehow a gauge of your compatibility or moral righteousness? That must be exhausting. Dark mode is superior. Yeah, I know. I'm a dirty light mode heathen.
sexual
One would think more dicks equal more XP. Yeah, you gotta grind that stuff out. Literally, sometimes.
partners a woman has had, her inability
More breaking news. Hold on. Let me take a look. Minneapolis' ex-officer who knelt on George Floyd's neck is in custody and faces a murder charge. So we read that he was in custody earlier, but now he's actually being charged with murder. Good. Good. Fuck that guy. That guy deserves it. Honestly, again, even if he gets convicted, I'm like 60% sure Trump's going to pardon him. And there'll be more rioting.
For yourself.
Oops, wrong one. I'm not going to read the whole article because it's just going to go over stuff again, but good. He's facing a murder charge. I'm glad.
To pair bond goes up, and they've shown.
What about the other three in the system as a whole? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm hoping the other three get charged with accessory to murder. If he's getting charged for murder, they should be involved too.
That the more sexual partners a woman had, the more incidents of divorce, the more greater a chance.
We almost need at this point, like, a federal agency that's completely divorced from local police stations that has oversight on cases like this. One specifically that deals with police misconduct and punishes them accordingly. I think that would be a good idea.
I don't think it's coincidental that when a man ejaculates, they call it his essence, right? And
only weirdos call it that.
And so if you got a woman who's taking in the essence of dozens and dozens and dozens of men, right? Every time she lays with a man and he releases his essence into her, she takes on the spirit.
Like a succubus. He's describing a succubus.
A piece of that soul, a piece of the soul of that man. And that, among other things, creates disturbance within her psyche, within her soul. This is stuff that has been looked at deeply. I read a study not too long ago that suggests, I don't know if it's 100% true, that...
Let me guess, it's going to be a completely asinine bullshit thing that's definitely not true.
That each man that releases his essence, ejaculates into a woman, leaves a bit of DNA in her as well, right? So it's not...
Yeah, cum has DNA in it, but like it drips out over time. You're not like inseminating her DNA with your DNA.
Not like it just, it's not like you're just washing your skin after you have sex. It's you're taking in, and perhaps, according to this study.
Is the raid over now? Emily just connected her huge throbbing mic. Yeah, I'm back now since I got lunch, but I just wanted you guys to be exposed to her because she's great. And it seems like she got some followers and subscriptions and stuff from that, which I'm glad. So, I auto-host her channel too, so if you're ever on here, she's probably on my thing, but you can, of course, also go to her channel. Propaganda. Thank you to the Lexa Black for following. Thank you, Akira the Burb 23 for hosting me.
Absorbing, taking on the DNA of that man so that later on when you have a child...
Yeah, she's been on my host list for a few days. I just found her in the last week, I think, when I was browsing.
Give birth to a child who has somewhat of the DNA of another man. All kinds of weird shit. And it kind of just proves that our natural inclination as men towards women who are virgins or who are of pure sexual
nature. Yet you're going out and trying to fuck everyone. Do you see the hypocrisy here? You want to fuck multiple women, but you don't want the women you fuck to be fucked by anyone else. If that's the case, who you fucking?
Nature and pure sexual past is founded upon reality. It's a good idea.
No, this idea of sexual purity is ridiculous and entirely socially based. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, if someone has had a lot of partners, even if they haven't had a lot of partners, it might be good to get STD checks now and again. good advice for anyone. But there's no moral or esoteric purity that's being destroyed by sleeping with multiple people. Who cares?
So don't let anybody tell you that a woman's sexual past does not matter. I think it's great that you have standards, and I just want to lay that out there to you so I want to acknowledge you.
I'm almost done eating, so I
fall for
apologize
these
for the
sluts.
if there's smackiness going on.
But anyway, beyond that, your concern is a legitimate one. I read on a blog not too long ago a story about a man who married a woman who she was kind of prudish in bed, right? Kind of blasé between the blankets. And he just kind of accepted that.
I think he just used the word blasé wrong. I think he meant bland.
He was like, well, my wife's not that sexually active. My wife's not into sex so much, right? And he just kind of like accepted that, rolled over and was like, well, that's fine. I suffer.
Different people have different libido levels. That's okay. Within a relationship, ideally you want to find a balance between both partners' sexual appetites.
But I love my wife. Come to find out, he discovered a VHS tape cassette of her from her college days where she's getting the train run on her. Run true. She's getting run through by 3 dudes at once.
I think a lot of people are more sexually adventurous in college because that's kind of part of what college is for, to explore yourself and who you are. Sex is part of that. Not everyone does that, of course. And they're not obligated to. But college is an exciting time. You're meeting new people. You're experiencing new things. You're away from your parents for the first time, probably. It makes sense that people explore that. That's why there's that stereotype about people having lesbian or gay relationships in college. Because it's kind of true. People try new things. It's fine.
So, like, again, it's a legitimate...
Yeah, they weren't Hot Pockets. As it turns out, I do eat other things other than Hot Pockets on occasion. Although it helps if I think of them as deconstructed Hot Pockets without the crust.
Concern. Like, you can marry this woman, you think she's one way, and you...
Yeah, and Captain Diabetes says, your libido can change over time as well. My wife wants to fuck way more than me compared to 2 years ago.
You find a VHS. I don't know if people have VHS anymore, but you find a video like years later after you have the kids and you accepted things the way they are and you discover, well, this woman's a freak. And like you said, it's a deal breaker. But, and here's really why I want to turn the table right now, from legitimate concern, it's a legitimate concern, you have good standards, to it's a fake problem. Totally fake problem because it does not exist. You're trying to do something before you're doing it. And so I want to share with you a couple pieces of advice from some of my
You've never had a Hot Pocket?
mentors.
What do they taste like? Sadness and trans fats.
One of which used to say to me, Elliot, don't try to do anything until you're doing it. Don't try to solve a problem.
Raviolis are just soft Italian Hot Pockets. It's a bold stance.
Until the problem is imminent. Don't try to cross the bridge before you get to it is another way to say it. And I didn't really understand when she used to say that to me because I'm a guy who likes to prepare. I like to think ahead of time. I like to mentally masturbate over what may potentially happen in the future. I'm kind of like a prepper too, you know. It's just my natural inclination to kind of like worry about the future, try to fix the future before I get there. And she would tell me over and over and over again, Elliot, you'll do it when you're doing it.
Can I just say, I think nothing encapsulate who this man is more than the fact that he has this giant, gaudy maul sword, and on top of it is a crucifix. This is his personality in a nutshell. All he needs is like some weight equipment over here on the right, and he's done it. Also, dude, landscape. Landscape is your friend. Please stop recording this way.
And I used to say to her, like, how will I know what to do when I get there? Like, if I don't think about it, if I don't prepare for it, how will I know how to act? She'll say, you'll know exactly what to do because you'll be doing it. It was kind of like a brain exercise for me. I was like, wait a second. So you're telling me that I'll know exactly what to do when the problem arises because I'll be doing it. And she was like, yeah, you'll know exactly what to do because you'll be doing it. So I stopped preparing so much for the future after that. I was like, I realized that I'll know what to do because I'll be doing it. And I won't do anything. I try not to do anything. Don't do
Vertical
anything
mode is virile. Landscape is flaccid. That sounds about right.
until you're actually doing it. Right? Sort of like a tongue twister, right? Don't do it until you're doing it. Don't try to solve the problem until you get to the problem. And a lot of times, the problem never arises. So here's where it's a fake problem also. A lot of times we're mentally masturbating, we're playing out these scenarios that never come to fruition, that never happen. And here you are, legitimately concerned, worried about it, mulling over it, beating yourself up, rejecting, turning down, or being cold to opportunities because of your fear of
This
what
is one of those
might
guys
happen.
who thinks
Dude, we
cunnilingus
live in
makes
a
you
world
less
of-
manly. Not only that, he has a whole video we did another day on a stream where he said, don't play with or suck on your girlfriend or wife's titties because titties are for babies. What are you, a baby? And I made the joke that, fellas, is it gay to play with your girlfriend's tits? Like, this guy's so misguided. It's ridiculous.
Possibilities. We live in a world of might happens, could happens, what ifs. What ifs all day long. What if an asteroid hits the planet and we all vanquish like the dinosaurs, right? What if? You know what's another good what if to think about is this COVID thing. The whole thing's been retarded. What if was why we shut down the economy. But what if never happened? This whole what if, we all get it. We all gonna die. The hospitals are gonna be
Pretty sure you meant metaphorical titty sucking, but I'm probably wrong. It sounded pretty literal to me.
overloaded. None of that shit happened. Here we are now living the consequences of a global what if. What ifs are fucking useless because it's a fake problem. It's not a real problem. Deal with the problem when you see the problem. Do it when you're doing it.
I mean, this isn't necessarily good general advice because you can make educated guesses about things that are going to happen in the future. You can make models and extrapolate from them and then try and be ready for whatever thing is coming. Seems like short-sightedness to say, whatever, when a problem comes, it comes. If an asteroid's about to hit the Earth, I'd like to think if we were able to detect it far enough away, we could, like, nuke it or something. Although I'm pretty sure in Armageddon they were like, you can't do that, it'll just come in, whatever. I don't know. You should try and foresee problems where you can.
Cross the bridge when you get there. Here's another one from my dad, and this is gonna cheer you up. This is some sage advice from Edmund Hulse. So those of you guys, by the way, who haven't seen my dad's video on my YouTube channel, on this channel, go check it out. My dad's a character. Wonder where I get it from.
Yikes. I can only imagine the kind of person that raised this person.
My dad would always say, when I would bring things up, like, you know, what do I do if, or like preparing for the future, he says, I'll deal with it when the time comes. I'll deal with it when the time comes. I'm not gonna think about it. My dad does not think about the future whatsoever, but his life has unfolded perfectly. And one of the things that he says is that as long as I have my health and my strength, I'll be able to deal with anything. He puts all his stock in his ability to respond rather than prepare. If I got my health,
Preparedness is not for men, apparently. Alright. Let's see what else he's got going on, and then we'll move on to the next person. She wants the most alpha male she can control. Why she must choose. Never be loneliness versus aloneness. Extreme control. Stop chasing your dreams. That's great advice. Women are a waste of time. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good video. I'm doing kind of dead air. I'm feeling very chill today. I don't know why. I'm not very hype. Not that I'm in a bad mood. I'm just like, you know, I'm not as, like, energetic as I normally am. They took blood for blood tests for me today. Maybe that's why. Maybe my body's like, we gotta slow down. We gotta make more blood. Who knows? I got my, like, every 3-4 months they have me do a blood test to check my hormone levels to see how the HRT's going. Did that today. Sushi Mom, I think it's all the racism weighing on you. Maybe. I was pretty hype about that earlier, and I was pretty flustered about that, but I don't know. Discharge perverted feelings. Yikes. There was an Elliot Hulse cringe video that I saw like last week that I wanna. Elliot Hulse cringe compilation. Let's watch this. We'll just get a concentrated dose of Elliot Hulse cringe, like it's been left overnight to reduce.
Elliot Hulse is the king of making men strong. He is a strong man, strength coach, husband, father of 4, and father figure to
Should women have the right to vote?
Depends on who you ask.
I'm asking.
You're being asked, which means you don't think women should have the right to vote. Is it 1911? What the fuck are you talking about, Elliot, you piece of shit?
You know, so...
Nice editing, Solomon Nelson, I approve.
I'm gonna pass on that one, and because you know I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is.
If you don't know if women should be allowed to vote, you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
And I'm not gonna fight against it, but I don't know because I think there was wisdom in the old way as well. Because I think there was
Thanks
wisdom
for following,
in
Fit Almighty.
the old way as well. Because I think there was wisdom in the old way as well. Because I think there was wisdom in the old way as well. But what I do know...
Does this technically count as a cleanse? I'll give it half a cleanse point.
...is that it's always been and will always be important for men to do men things and women to do women things.
What'd you do?
I did front squats. I did close grip bench
Important
press.
for men to do men things
Neutral grip
and
pull-ups.
women to do women things. Important for men to do men things
Sumo deadlifts.
and women to do women
Base
things.
pulls.
Important for men to do men things.
Congratulations.
Ow.
You played yourself.
Yeah, that hurt my ears too. I'm in it with you. I'll turn this down a little bit in case that happens again.
Blade that bends round the bone on the fish and doesn't allow it. Oh, me. Okay, shit, I've just stabbed Danny.
You gotta breathe into your balls. You gotta breathe deeply into the roots of your manhood. It lies within your balls. Breathe deeper.
The way of the chimps follow the way of man. Who do you want to go hunt food with? This guy who's beaten off and looking for the next piece of pussy if she'll give it to him? Or that guy who looks like, yeah, he's ready. He's ready, he's tough, he looks Wise,
One's a chimp and one's a
strong,
bonobo.
Able, patriarch. Wise, strong, able, patriarch.
Stolen valor.
Biological.
Ugh.
I'm a chimp. You see those chimps? They look like gangsters. You know, had his ball hanging out. The ball hanging out. The ball hanging out. The ball hanging out. The ball
Big body breathing into your balls. Shake your balls.
He
To get the breath
does
down
love
lower, shake your
balls.
legs shaking. Feel your belly shaking. Breathe and shake. Breathe and vibrate. Breathe and vibrate. Breathe and vibrate. That word vibrate. That vibrate. Vibrant!
Who the fuck is this guy? This is Elliot Hulse. He's like a red pill type motivational speaker guy on YouTube.
There's a lot of trapped anger, a lot of trapped rage. And through bioenergetics, we can use exercises to get the rage out. We can use stretches to get the emotions out, rage, laughter, tears, whatever they are. But also through working in the actual tissue, you can open
He's
a
literally
floodgate
throwing
of
like a
emotion.
tantrum like a
I'm
child.
not gonna cite any resources here because you guys know that I read Lowen, Alexander Lowen, Wilhelm Reich, a lot of this
This guy needs to lay off the steroids for like a month or something. He's got some fucking
stuff
issues.
is very, in the more contemporary authors, you've got Berselli and
The fuck you was really fuck me. Get this shit out of me. Stop doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. You have to stop. Expression happens in the body. It doesn't happen in the fucking mind.
let go of it and express. It's all good. You're allowed to do it. You don't have to be a good boy all the time. Ha! Ha 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 ha!
Oh my god.
You.
Apollo 8192. Mommy, I'm scared. I'd like to go home now. Too bad.
And I recognize that it's time for me to purge my account from hate. So I gotta let you know that I love Donald Trump, I love Jesus, and I love red meat. And if any of that rubs you the wrong way, it makes you feel such that you gotta say something to ruin my day, then feel free to unsubscribe now. I don't need you. I only need Jesus. Done.
Oh.
You gotta give
And people on the right complain about virtue signaling Jesus.
her a mini orgasm. Get her to giggle. Right? When a woman does that, when a woman giggles, it's spontaneous in the same way that an orgasm is spontaneous.
And so you can really get everything that you need. I know that I can, and I know that you can too. It's not my job to convince you by eating just meat. You don't need fruits and vegetables.
What? No. Do not go on the Michaela Peterson meat-only diet. You will die. Do not do this. You need a balanced diet. You need to eat vegetables. And believe me, this is coming from someone who doesn't eat many vegetables. You should do it. My body is trash, and I'm going to die young because of the lack of vegetables. Baja Blast is doing her best to get me into goddamn shape and get me some vegetables into my system so I don't die early. Don't only eat meat.
It's not necessary. Just meat. You don't need fruits and vegetables. It's not necessary. Just meat. You don't need fruits and vegetables. It's not necessary. It's not important to defend yourself. It's never, especially verbally. I'm all about defending yourself.
That's right.
Guns
Propaganda.
and fists. as far as your ideas
Thank you
are
for
concerned,
following Blue Haze.
There is no reason to ever have to defend yourself to those who detract, because ideas are ephemeral. They're metaphysical. They come and go. They change.
Apollo
just
8192. No, people who believe this should definitely only eat meat. They'll survive, I promise.
Science does, and I'll talk a little bit about that also too.
Pro tip, date a vegetarian, vegan, and they'll get you to eat more vegetables, yeah. Lean Hot Pockets have veggies. That's true. I did have a broccoli and cheddar chicken Hot Pocket the other day. That was pretty good.
Elliot doesn't seem to grasp the fact
Relative to other Hot Pockets, I mean.
that ideas have power. For example, Nazism didn't just come about. The Nazi regime started because of an idea. Likewise, the Twin Towers came down because originally there was an idea to take them down. So for Elliot to say that ideas shouldn't be defended, and I guess by extension we can say that Elliot doesn't believe there's any worth in criticizing ideas, is insane. Furthermore, if Elliot thinks that ideas really have such little worth, that there's neither benefit in defending nor don't think it doesn't necessarily.
I think Donald Trump is amazing, and I can't help but say that he is the alpha leader that America has been needing for so long. I mean, Obama is the essence of beta.
But then what the hell does that make Elliot?
The people who are, if you are depressed, just know that you are.
Fellas, is it gay to be a respectable leader of the free world who doesn't alienate all allies and bring shame to the presidency? Sounds pretty gay to me.
Are narcissistic as fuck. It has everything to do with thinking about yourself and how things should be and how you feel about them and being premarital sex became an addiction. I was addicted to the sex with my wife, and then I became addicted to building muscle. I became addicted to winning trophies and winning with sports. Societally accepted addictions, not like crack or
Elliot, those don't sound like addictions to me. One of the diagnostic criteria of addiction is whether the activity you habitually engage in is deleterious to those around you or yourself. And kind of a premarital can put that. Okay, so before I can roast Elliot for this, I have to provide you with a bit of context. Oh god, his website has a... This is camp.runs.
He has his own website. If so, I don't want to listen to I want to look at it myself, not this guy's commentary. No offense to this guy. I appreciate the work he put into this.
I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?
Stone has a personality of its own, character of its own.
Like all straight cis men doing the straightest thing possible, lifting heavy stuff, hanging out with your shirtless, oily, sweaty bros. Oh, use your legs, dude. You gotta lift with your legs.
That was the Elliot Hulse cringe.
Let me look for Elliot Hulse's website so I can take a look at it. He probably has a link to it on his YouTube channel. Blog. Oh, at 404s. Interesting. I guess, did his website get deleted? Or did he change it? And didn't, There's his Twitter. Oh no, it's Instagram. I don't have Instagram. Here's his Twitter. There's a Facebook. Looks like his website just doesn't exist anymore, though. That's interesting. Elliot Hulse, strongman, strength coach, father, 2 million plus YouTube subscribers, God, Family America, muscle meat, following 0 people, 57,000 subscribers or followers. Let's see what Elliot's been doing on Twitter. Amazing. Tweet is unavailable. I'm curious what the tweet was. Make women great again. Challenges Anthony Dream Johnson, who says women need to be taught how to be great again. He's organizing a 3-day conference, which he says does just that. Basically, women get back in the kitchen.
Come on out, have a good time. It'll be a great time. So the 22 convention is the mansplaining event of the century. That's its destiny. It's coming up soon in Orlando, Florida this May. And I'm only one of the speakers. I'm actually more like Obama, like a community organizer. And I'm organizing about 20 speakers to put together. And they're the top mansplainers in the world. I've been doing that my entire life.
So tell me what
Since
you
I was 17 years
mansplained
old,
to me.
for over 30.
Yuck. Can you imagine this being your personality and not being embarrassed every second of the day?
13
I'm
years.
quite an expert at being mansplained to,
My
so just tell me what you'd teach me.
My speech. So, well, look, Piers is a fantastic mansplainer. You're in good
right.
company.
Yeah.
My speech at the convention, one of about 20, so I'm just one of 20 speakers at the event,
Yeah.
is going to be on motherhood first. Right. And I believe that feminists, when they present a choice to women between career and motherhood, it's a fake choice. It's not real, because they're pushing an agenda behind it to push them to delay motherhood.
Yeah, the agenda that people should be allowed to follow the career path that they want to do, whether that be someone who is a homemaker or someone who's out in the workforce, climbing that ladder, doing whatever. They could do both, they could do one, whatever. People have the freedom to do whatever they want, no matter what their gender is.
And I think most women, not all of them, but most women will be happier motherhood first.
I can't turn up to
yeah,
your,
go ahead and link
I
his
can't turn up to your
website.
lecture. I'm a mother with a successful career.
I'm very happy for you. That's wonderful. I think you
Right.
made a great choice. I think motherhood is awesome, and you should have as many babies as you want and not get bullied by feminists for it.
No, but I am
Which
a feminist.
many of them do now.
I
There are women
wasn't
sticking up for me
bullied by
online.
anybody. I had as many children as I wanted, and I've got a career, so I'm not sure what you're...
You might
are you
be
telling me that was
confused.
wrong?
I think feminism, as Piers has been discussing here or hinting at, I think feminism has collapsed into rampant sexist, man-hating bigotry and female supremacism.
I don't hate
That's what
any
these
men.
hashtags mean. Toxic masculinity, the future is female. I'm not female.
Toxic masculinity, I think everyone here knows this, but for posterity, I'll say it anyway. Toxic masculinity does not mean that being masculine is toxic. Toxic masculinity is the idea that there are certain behaviors men engage in, like this guy, the need to constantly act manly even when you don't necessarily need to overcompensate, to become competitive to a fault, to harm oneself in that act. You're using your masculinity in a harmful and toxic way. That's toxic masculinity. To try and, like, what's a good example? My dad, I was on a trip with him once in Florida with some family. And they were like egging each other on and trying to see who's like the manlier man, and he hurt himself. He hurt himself doing this. That's toxic masculinity. It's not the idea that you're just toxic if you're a man. It's trying to take your masculinity to such an extent that it's harmful to yourself and those around you. Ugh. Like, for instance, the idea that men aren't allowed to cry within society. Obviously not by law or anything, but there's like a social stigma against it. That's toxic masculinity, because men should be allowed to express their emotions however they like. That's toxic masculinity, and it hurts men. God, I hate Facebook's new layout. I'm glad I never fucking use it. Here's Elliot Hulse's website. Become part of Elliot's newsletter and get the 4 layers of strength for free. I assume that's some motivational program. There's all his various accomplishments. Non-Jobs Revolution is my brand new book to teach you how to do what you love and make a great living doing it so that you can have the freedom to quit your job, travel the world, and follow your passion. Teach you how to become a grifter like him. Let's see what products he has. What is he selling? This website takes a while to load images. I thought we weren't supposed to follow our dreams. Well, I don't know what the video actually said, so. Baja Blast just sent me a very funny text. Nice. There's some workout tapes, which fine. Clearly he knows how to get in shape. Training manual. I don't trust him for nutrition considering he said only eat meat, but whatever. Muscle virus solution. Stronger. What? $1 million YouTube funnel. That's a grift. Do not. I mean, none of you are going to buy any of this anyway. This is definitely a get-rich-quick on YouTube scheme, which let me tell you, as someone who has made a living on YouTube, I bought this house because of the money I've made on YouTube. I'm YouTube middle class. I'm successful enough that I'm able to make money doing it. But I'm not like, million subscriber guy. Gal. But, do not get into YouTube or anything online to make money. Your primary goal should be to have fun and entertain people, and if you make money, that's awesome, but you should never expect it because there's such a huge element of luck. For some reason, I can't get to that page. Okay. How to be a king in a world full of cowards. That's cringy. There is a masculinity crisis. Wait, why is the movie theater shooter in this? Is he not masculine enough? Is it because of his orange hair? British shooting, British serial killer Elliot Rodger is hooked on bodybuilding supplement pills. Oh, God. Somewhere along the journey, men have lost their way. Nowadays, everywhere you look, there is further mounting evidence of our once sacred manlyhood eroding away, replaced with false ideals of what masculinity is. Elliot, you can go and work out and be super buff and have a good body. That's awesome. Good for you. It's something you've clearly put a lot of work into. No one cares. People don't like toxic masculinity that harms other people. They don't like when people who are men talk down to women. They don't like when they treat women like second-class citizens. That's all we're asking you not to do. I don't think that's too much to ask. This new false masculinity is deceptively toxic. I want you to keep an eye out for it because it often takes one of two forms: oppressive tyranny, sheepish cowardice. You'll probably even know men like this. Heck, you might even be one yourself. Here's what you need to know. Men who display either of these characteristics are two sides of the same coin. The overly aggressive tyrant boy man. This describes Elliot, honestly. I don't think he realizes this, but it does. That lives solely to manipulate, seize, and wield power. You literally have a book about how to be a king. You get that, right? In his world, ambition reigns supreme, subjugating any... Wait, what does it say? How to be a king. Yeah. So you're telling... It's on the same page, and he didn't get an editor to look at this. In his world, ambitions reign supreme, subjugating any morality or sense of duty he has. This boy man is especially dangerous because he views everything as a zero-sum game. Thank you to RPG Yahweh for following. His weapons of choice are fear, manipulation, power. In recent years, we have seen these boy men plunge their American and world economy into the toilet with their greed. And though mainstream media likes to paint these boy men in a favorable light, it makes me very uncomfortable, this phrase, boy men. Can we not use the phrase boy men? They are nothing more than petulant little boys who solely have their own interest in mind. Now, counter this with a second manifestation of perverted masculinity. What's up, Baha?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, chat.
What's going on?
I'm gonna make some lunch.
Okay, what you gonna make?
Probably some vegan Alfredo.
Nice. Hope it's good.
Twill be.
Nice text, by the way. I won't repeat it on stream.
I appreciate it.
The coward. If you spend time online, chances are high you'll run across this boy man as well. Yikes. And although he talks a big game, largely in part to the anonymity of the internet, he is also the first to scurry into a corner and ball up into the fetal position in the face of danger. The second type of boy man is dangerous because he lives in constant fear. Fear of the world around him, fear of the opinions of others, fear of failure, and fear of rejection. This is why he rejects everything and everybody else first. When it's all said and done, this weakling hides behind his keyboard and shield because he is a coward. Is he mad because he gets into arguments with people online and they don't want to come and fight him in real life and he thinks they're cowards because of that? Because they don't want to punch each other like children? Cowards are... He's describing Trump. Yeah, he is. Retreat, Hell 84, no idea what you said. Didn't even see it because your message got deleted. So I hope the trolling was worth it, whatever you happen to say. Cowards are passive-aggressive men who sit on their hands and seethe on the inside, but at some point they finally break down and lash out with undue hatred and violence. The tyrant and the coward seem very different on the surface, but once you dig a little deeper, you'll find they are two sides of the same coin. Underneath every coward, you'll find a tyrant in waiting. Now, these two manifestations of perverted masculinity are extreme examples along the same spectrum. Unfortunately, many men nowadays fall somewhere along the spectrum, whether they realize it or not. Sadly, the endemic toxic masculinity... Wait! He's using... What? Okay. So he shits on toxic masculinity, but then he actually uses toxic masculinity somewhat correctly in his own book. What a hypocrite. What is wrong with him? Asshole. Let's move on. I'm done with Elliot Hulse for the day. He's such a moron. I love when the transphobes show up just to get banned. It's nice. Might as well get through them. It's like inoculating against a virus. You gotta get them in so you can get the antibodies to ban them from the chat. Thank you, mods, though. Seriously, I appreciate the work you do. Let's see what strong, successful males got going on. Jake, we have herd immunity. What? How long is it until your debate, Jake? I know you're debating Sargon today. I am probably gonna end if it's within the next like 3 hours. In a few minutes. Okay. I'm probably gonna have this rated to that then when it's done, and then I'll maybe get on later. If not, I'll come back tomorrow and do more stuff. Strong, successful male.
Alright guys, welcome back to Strong, Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to be going over an article, and the title is, Are We Creating Unhappy Women? Now this article is written by a woman, and obviously she's talking about the feminist movement.
Did I watch the Spirit Science history video with the whole juicer from Space Bit? Yeah, I watched that whole thing. I watched part of it in one stream and I finish it out in the next one. It's some crazy stuff.
And the guidance that women have gotten over the years to obviously want to be successful and have careers and all that. And she wants to know...
Oh yeah, he's not in his car for once. Good job, strong, successful male. Maybe he was living in his car and he just was able to get into the house at this point. What DVDs does he own? Enhance! Harry Potter! That's Harry Potter. And the Sorcerer's Stone. That's one we know he has. I can't read the other ones, though.
Have they created unhappy women because all these women have gone out and gotten careers, professional degrees, and so forth to obviously rival us guys. And obviously, since a lot of these have careers and all that. Now, this article is written by a woman, and obviously she's talking about the feminist movement and the guidance that women have gotten over the years to obviously want to be successful and have careers and all that. And she wants to know, have they created unhappy women because all these women have gone out and gotten careers, professional degrees, and so forth to obviously rival us guys. And obviously, since a lot of these women feel that they are obviously better than men.
Women do not feel they're better than men. They feel they're equal to men. It seems to me that you want to say that women should be lesser than men and be relegated to household servants, more or less, without pay, and that's their role, and if they try and step above that, then somehow they think they're better than men for moving out of the place that you deem them to be suited for. No, it's just that everyone wants to be able to have the freedom to do whatever they want and to pursue the dreams that they want to do. That's reasonable. That's not you being subjugated, that's someone else being allowed to be equal.
Now, they're unhappy because they're older, they want to get married. Guys don't want to get married, they're single and unhappy. Now,
a lot of people don't want to get married nowadays because it's not a social necessity like it was in the old days, especially considering women don't have to be housewives. Women can go out and make their own careers. They don't necessarily have to be tied to a man to be financially secure, and that's a good thing. People are allowed to have the freedom to go and be self-sufficient if they want. I thought people like you, people on the right, enjoyed the self-sufficiency afforded by the modern world, allowed people to go out and work for themselves and be afforded the toil of their daily lives. But no, if they're women, apparently it's bad.
we all know that when it comes to women, you can never make them happy. There's always something.
Boot straps until it's a lady, of course, because women shouldn't even wear boots. They got to pull themselves up by their heel straps. Stilettos. 3 inches.
For those of you who've been really
3 inches, that'd be a huge heel. That'd be like, you know what I mean.
relationships, for those of you who've been married or are married, you know this better than anybody else. So I'm going to go through this article here and share my thoughts on the issue. So again, the article is called, Are We Creating Unhappy Women? And the
You are, but if you mean by, is feminism creating unhappy women? No.
author says, a friend of mine is terribly worried that our next generation of high-achieving women may be destined for unhappiness because they will have difficulty in finding husbands. Big surprise.
Why would they have a difficulty in finding husbands? If a majority of women are now in the workforce and that delays marriage, then men also aren't getting married because they're not marrying the women who are waiting longer to get married. Unless they're marrying each other, which is fine. Gay marriage happened in 2015, Obergefell v. Hodges. But it seems like people like you aren't into that. So what's the issue? Everyone just gets married later these days. It's a good thing because people can build up their lives independently and then come together, as opposed to perhaps getting with someone when you're too young, ending up with the wrong person and being stuck with a bunch of divorce fees or not being allowed to divorce because of your religious beliefs. It's silly.
Having a hard time finding husbands because men are waking the hell up and they're not going to get sucked into this crap.
Oh, MGTOW, great.
And she questions, are our self-affirming messages to today's smart, capable young women setting them up for future misery? This well-intentioned concern raises some interesting points. First, it assumes that a person needs to be married or to have a soulmate to be happy. Well, that's bullshit. While most of us would agree that humans are happier with companionship, hence solitary confinement being a punishment, and that we would feel blessed to find a soulmate, many may take issue with the implication that marriage is necessary for personal happiness. Well, the idea of being married has been so ingrained both with religious and societal conditioning, both for men and women, isn't just with women. A lot of guys buy into this crap, that they've been so brainwashed to think that if you don't find the one and you don't settle down and get married, you're going to be miserable and alone. And they sell all this crap in movies. You've seen it before.
But again, the idea that people can go and do whatever they want and women can go be independent and men can also do the same thing is more or less a product of feminism, of like second wave feminism, the idea that women can be independent. You don't have to be married to be fulfilled. You can go and be an independent person, regardless of your gender. That's great, that's fine. And that was spearheaded by feminists. Second wave feminists. Like, what's the issue? It seems like you're trying to poke at someone without realizing that they're the reason you're allowed to go and do these things and not be forced by society into a role that you're not comfortable with. QED Beach, thank you for following.
I'm sure even the biggest hard asses watching this video have seen some movie or know about where they show guys, men or women, and they're alone and miserable.
Sushi Mom popped back in to share this nugget of joy. President Trump said Friday that U.S. would be sanctioning Chinese officials responsible for eroding the autonomy of Hong Kong. I hope that's the case. I hope it works, but I hope it puts financial strain on the Chinese government specifically. Hopefully it doesn't affect the people too much, but always shit flows downhill. Either way, the Hong Kong situation is unbelievably fucked up, and it's really sad.
And obviously the source, the key to finding happiness is finding the one to make them feel better. And that's bullshit. Because believe me, plenty of people that have woken the hell up and that are single, provide good lives for themselves, dating around or on their own, they're happy as a pig and shit. Goes on to say, second, this concern takes a traditional view of what constitutes a suitable partner. Historically, women have been deemed to be successful only if they marry at or above their station, whereas men could marry anyone they wanted to, especially if the woman was a beauty.
And that's a fucked up way to live your life. That's a really restrictive That is a very restrictive system in which people are relegated to roles from birth. It's deterministic. It's morally reprehensible to say from the moment someone's born, hey, you're a woman, so your role is going to be you're going to clean the house, you're going to have some babies, and we're going to call you hysterical anytime you have an emotion other than happiness and subservience. It's not good. No bueno. For anyone, men and women, it's not good. Men, if they do not want to be breadwinners, should not be relegated to that role. You have the freedom to go and be a bachelor for the rest of your life if you want. If you want to find a wife, for instance, if you do want to get married, who is the breadwinner, but you stay at home and you take care of the kids, or if you don't want kids, you stay home and you take care of the house, that's fine too, as long as it's both consenting adults who have an understanding with each other about how your relationship is going to function. This is all a result, once again, of second-wave feminism, okay?
Yeah, for us guys, it's all about looks. That's just the reality. That is the ugly truth. So we don't care if the woman's beautiful, at least in our eyes, because beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If we see a woman is beautiful, we don't care if she has an advanced degree. We don't care what her job is. We don't care how much money she makes. We don't care how much money she has. We don't care if she works as a cash register at Target. If she's hot and she has a great body and she's feminine and...
This speaks really poorly to your character. Like, you should care about what your partner's personality is and what they do for a living. Sure, you're not defined by what you do, but, like, you should be thinking of things more than just, oh man, I want to stick my flesh rod in her snoot. And you don't want to... It's... Snoot. That's not nomenclature for the vagina. Anyway, it says pretty poor things about you if that's your main concern when looking for a life partner.
We're in. That's it. But for women, they got a whole laundry list of shit. But especially, obviously, men that have money, make money, successful, all that. That's why I urge you guys that are dating, that will help you along, work on your purpose, work on gaining success.
Good advice for anyone. Follow whatever success means to you as long as you can support yourself. Or if you're in a relationship with someone else and you have an agreement that one person will be the breadwinner and you do other things to fulfill yourself other ways, whether by being a housewife or working on some creative thing, great. That's fantastic. Good for you. Thank you for Scotty the Scot for subscribing.
That will help you vastly when it comes to dating women. But don't do it just so you can get women. Do it for yourself so you can provide a great life for yourself and not need help from anybody. But yes, that will help you in the dating department if that's what you're doing. It says, therefore, the more educated and commercially successful a woman is, the smarter the talent pool from which she can choose a husband. And the woman says, are we really still governed by these traditional societal norms? Yeah, a lot of people are. Says here, as well, this worry assumes that men won't feel comfortable dating or marrying a successful woman. And if he does, there is the future implication that if the woman who ultimately will have to make a binary choice between career, success, and family life. I'm going to read that part again real quick. It says here, as well, this worry assumes that men won't feel comfortable dating or marrying a successful woman. Well,
that's fucked up, and that's toxic masculinity. If you're such a fragile little child that you can't handle that your partner who has a vagina happens to make more money than you need to check your fucking ego. I mean it. And this isn't about all men, but there are toxic men out there who have such huge egos, they're completely unable to function normally within society. They are unable to take anything like this, like their partner making more money than them, any amount of anything that they perceive as being emasculated completely destroys them. And it's fucked up. You need to grow up. It's really childish behavior, and I feel bad for these people for not having this stuff taught out of them at a young age. Like, seriously. It's so childish to get your ego bruised that easily.
Well, for a lot of guys I've talked to that either are getting married or have been married, the issue isn't that she's successful. The issue is when these successful women become these masculine, ball-busting bitches.
Give an example. Give a single example. I'm not saying there aren't people out there who are women who happen to be awful to their partners, but show me that this is a systemic issue coming from third wave feminism, please. I'd love to, and I'd love for it to be an example of something other than your ego being bruised.
That's what we have a problem with, and usually it kind of goes hand in hand. We're not attracted to masculine women. The same.
No one's asking you to be. Be attracted to who you want to be attracted to. That's life. You're attracted to what and who you're attracted to. Great. But not everyone is under an obligation to conform to your standards of beauty. If someone who is a woman happens to be presenting pretty masculine, it's not for you to think, oh, that person should be more feminine. I'd find them more attractive. Other people do not exist for your viewing pleasure. You understand that? Other people exist to fulfill whatever goals they have for themselves. Other people do not exist for your pleasure. I cannot reiterate this enough.
Same way, it'd be like two dudes dating. And that's a lot of things that these women can't understand. Masculine men are not attracted to masculine women. That's how it is. Now,
it's not necessarily how it is. I'm sure there are masculine men out there who are attracted to more butch women. And I'm sure there are feminine men out there attracted to feminine women and butch women and people in between. Who knows? There are billions of people on this planet. People are attracted to an array of different things. If there are people out there who are attracted to literal inanimate objects, which is a real thing, you should look it up. There's one woman who married a Ferris wheel. Claims to be married to the Ferris wheel. And you don't think that there are men out there who are attracted to butch women? Are you nuts?
You can get guys that are feminine guys, beta males. They may be attracted to these strong alpha female masculine women. That's the only case. And, well, thanks to the feminist movement, you have a lot more of guys like this today. Now,
oh, damn feminist movement. Making men be attracted to certain things I'm not attracted to, even though it's none of my business. See how the argument falls apart? Is it possible that perhaps feminism, second wave, third wave, whatever, has allowed us as a society to move forward and allow people to be more open about what they're attracted to and allowed people to express themselves more genuinely how they want to be expressed, whether it be masculine or feminine. And with this variety comes people saying, you know what? Since we now have this variety of different kinds of people and different ways of representing yourself, I've discovered I'm attracted to this thing that wouldn't be traditionally considered attractive, like a more masculine woman or a more feminine man, or anything in between, whatever. Like, it's not feminism's fault that you're mad that some people are attracted to the things you're not attracted to. How narcissistic do you have to be to think this is a problem?
Hopefully, as time goes on and awareness is spread, this trend is going to reverse because lots of guys are waking the hell up. But it's going to take time. And it says here, you may say that statistically speaking, my friend is right to worry. People do tend to want to find a partner and have a family. Many men may still feel threatened by high-powered women, and societal norms still hold their sway. But surely the solution is not to stop women from pursuing their aspirations and impose our choices on them, with a question mark, she says. She says here, personally, I think the world has a great capacity to change. Change for who? Change for the feminist movement or for what us guys want?
Change for... My God. change so that every individual can pursue whatever they want to do within reason so as not to hurt others. Hello, Kiki. Kiki was bad and broke out of the house last night.
And took her brother with her.
And they were outside for like 2 hours.
And she's still making trouble right now as we speak.
Yeah. Kitty.
She wants to be outside. But
Yeah.
that's not good for kitties or for the wildlife that the kitties kill when they're outside.
Ooh, she needs a brush.
Yeah, I've been trying. She won't let me get this side.
Yeah.
It depends on who wants this change, what the change is. She says, I recently read about...
You can just leave it a little open.
And another example, contrary to my friend's worrisome scenario. Julia Gillard, the newly elected Prime Minister of Australia, has found happiness...
Jake's live. This has like 3 minutes left. Once it's done, I'll raid you guys over to him.
...with her hairdresser turned estate agent boyfriend, who also happens to be a whiz in the kitchen and a highly supportive of her career. So the female Prime Minister Australia, her boyfriend? Says her boyfriend is an ex-hairdresser. How many guys are hairdressers? What type of guy would be
a decent number, I would imagine. What percent of hairdressers are men? Hairdressers. 7.6% of hairdressers are men, it looks like. That's a decent amount. Also, are they considering barbers hairdressers? Because there are a lot of barbers. Fellas, is it gay to be a barber?
A hairdresser. I have no problem if a guy's a hairdresser. Let me make that clear. But by and large, most men that are hairdressers are either gay or they're going to be very feminine men, beta men.
And who cares? What business is it of yours? Why are you so upset about the existence of people different than you? It's so strange and so restrictive.
So you got the Prime Minister of Australia, who I guarantee you is a ball-busting masculine woman, because she wouldn't get that way get there at this point in time otherwise.
You ever notice when men take charge, they're confident and they're like, they're take charge, but when women are confident, they're bitches and ball busters? It's almost like it's sexist. Weird.
And so the only guy she can get that's going to put up with that or be attracted to that masculine energy is a very feminine man. So it just goes to show right then and there. But that is the intent of the feminist movement.
The intent of the feminist movement is to gain equality of the genders. Okay?
You know, in this day and age, it's not about equality. It's about emasculating men, making us weak, and letting them be dominant, and turning us into little bitches.
Give me an example, other than people being different than you and you not liking it.
Well, times are changing. At least I'm going to say things are going to slowly change. We will have the last laugh. Continues on to say, while there's only one more example, it nonetheless gives us all greater hope. This is from the woman's perspective, gives them greater hope. Greater hope that successful women are finding wonderful men in all walks of life and vice versa. As they say, oh God, why marry a doctor when you can be a doctor yourself? And
what do you mean, oh God? Oh, all these women doctor. Fucking what? Why do you care if the person who's saving your life has a vagina? Grow up.
Maybe there's some great guy who would prefer to marry a doctor rather than be one himself. You just have to be clear on what you were looking for. Sure, again, feminized beta males.
By your definition, these people are that. I disagree, but even if they were, why do you care? What business is it of yours?
And while statistics may portray an accurate picture on an aggregate
basis...
Thanks
for following, Fat Streamer
much
Gang.
Irrelevant when it comes to a person's situation. For example, just because... Because only 20% of people survive a particular type of cancer doesn't mean a thing if you haven't had it. Irrespective of the odds, for the individual, the outcome is binary. You either live or die. She goes on to say, so as individuals, we can afford to ignore the historical odds. After all, it takes just one. It happens all the time. You just have to be open-minded and on the lookout for the scenario you want. Back to the thing about the one. All you need is just one. The whole idea of the one is the biggest bunch of crap ever. There's nearly 8 billion people on the planet, or we're getting close to that. Half of them are men, half of them are women. And the idea that just one person on there is going to be the one for you is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard. And it says here, and saying, in life there are no guarantees that you will get what you want, but at least you have to try. Otherwise, you truly do end up miserable. And that is a sure thing. So, that's just going to show right here what I've been talking about all along.
So this guy's full of shit. Anyway, that's it for today with part 1 of the stream I did earlier about the whole Minneapolis thing. If you didn't catch that, check out the VOD. Jake's live, and he's doing sort of a preamble to his debate with Sargon. So I'm going to raid you guys over to him, and then I'm going to take the rest of the day for myself. I should be back tomorrow with more, so please stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please follow. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like to do that. It would always help. You can donate to my Streamlabs if you want to help support the show. Oh, great news! My transition fund yesterday. My transition fund finally hit its goal. It's at $10,201 or something like that, which is amazing. Thank you to everyone who helped donate. It's so nice knowing that that money's there for when I need to like go get the surgeries and when I'm ready to do that. I think I need to be on the hormones for 2 years before they'll even consider me for surgery, and I just passed like the 1 year mark, so I still got a year out until that's gonna happen at least. But thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Let me go to raid.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Actual Jake.
That's not how you spell that.
Whoopsie. That's not right. Let me go to my stream and then hit the channel.
No space.
Oop, you're right.
Nope, no space between raid and actual Jake.
No, there is.
We tried this before. Oh, okay, I was wrong.
Yep. That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. The Joe Pound, I think that's what the LB is for. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. So I'm gonna have you guys go over to Jake. I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the Sargon debate. I don't know if I'm gonna catch that live. It's gonna be too stressful for me. And if they talk about trans issues, I'm like 95% sure Sargon's gonna dead name the shit out of me. And I'd rather not see that. But we'll see. Have a good day, everyone.